Next, we will hear from Mr. Peter Wood, representing ANC 1CO3. Mr. Wood, if you are here.
Hi, and thanks. I thought
All
this
right.
started started 9:30. Sorry about that. So hello, my name is Peter Wood. I currently serve as an ANC commissioner in Adams Morgan and am the chairperson of our commission. But today I'm testifying in my capacity as an individual commissioner to express the need for DC's Board of Elections to assume responsibility for conducting special elections for advisory neighborhood commissions. To begin, let's jump back to the spring of 2023. The birds were chirping, mosquitoes breeding, and a vacant seat in ANC 1C01 attracted some competition. Though BOE initiated communication between ANC 1C, OANC, and the two certified candidates, any further responsibility was immediately handed over to OANC and ANC 1C, as DC code directs. First up, someone needed to, as is typical, find a venue to hold an election. But space availability often depends on schedule, so a venue had to be arranged in tandem with, of course, a date and time. A mandatory 4-hour block that must occur simultaneously with a publicly noticed quorum holding meeting of the full commission. OANC offered to help arrange details, but we already had a space offered free of charge. Residential complex's courtyard located smack in the middle of the single-member district in question, with accommodations made for anyone with mobility concerns or in case it started to rain. Then one candidate claimed that the venue would, quote, guarantee a tainted outcome, and things got messy. That's not to mention the scheduling conflicts with religious holidays and days of worship that drew further scrutiny. I won't drag out the rest of the details. After approaching multiple other venues, I eventually found a place that fit our commission's election budget of $0. But it would be an understatement to say it was an aggravating process. Aggravation assumed by unpaid commissioners like me with the aid of historically overwhelmed OANC staff. This could be fixed by making a single intuitive change. Have the board designated to run elections run all elections. During the race I mentioned, as well as many other I have been made aware of, there are several shortcomings in ANSI special elections that ANCs and ONC are ill-prepared to address. These include, but probably are not limited to, language access beyond English language ballots, same-day registration for new voters and change of address for registered voters, early voting, absentee voting, and drop box voting, provisional ballots, finding a venue for elections, staffing elections on the day they are held, scheduling a reasonable time frame for the election to be held within. On this last point, I have conferred with ONC staff, who agrees it is typically a burden to require these special elections last a minimum of 4 hours. And I would personally add that requiring them to happen during an official ANC meeting is arbitrary and sometimes unhelpful. For that 1CO1 election I described, we ended up having to hold a special virtual meeting of the commission wherein a quorum of commissioners left their computers online and went about their days. Glad we got it to make it work, but it seemed a bit impractical. If DC code were changed and BOE were to assume responsibility for ANC at special elections, it would allow commissioners and ONC to dedicate their time to other matters. But the impact on BOE would, in the grand scheme of things, be minimal. According to ONC, there were just 6 special elections in 2023, a typical number in recent years. But consider the special election in ANC 7F08, where the DC jail is located. OANC staff told me it took 6 months to organize that contest. ANCs across the city are already frustrated that ONC staff is buried in duties. This just further detracts what their office can dedicate to the 46 commissions in DC. Now, I am aware that most ANC special elections draw incredibly low turnout, sometimes as low as one cast vote. The costs incurred with needs like ballot translation might seem disproportionate to the benefits they offer for such unceremonious affairs. But compromise on fine points is possible. My key concern, which I am 1,000% positive commissions across the city agree with me on, is that special elections would be best handled by the board whose staff is trained and equipped with the resources needed to make them efficient. This is important to help our city run more smoothly, but also as a matter of statehood. Yes, DC is held to a far higher standard than all 50 current states, yet the reality remains, if we want to become a state, we need to act like it, and strengthening our institutions is an important component of that advocacy. Thank you for your time. I hope you take this seriously.